This is K2 News at 5 on your side.
Happening right now, pro-Palestinian demonstrators are back at the Portland State University campus. This is a live look now where it looks like more than 100 people are gathered in front of the Miller Library, speaking and hearing speakers, and we saw folks dancing earlier. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for this digital edition of K2 News, rather. I'm Barry Mangold. We're going to get back to that live look now from our crews at PSU, where again pro-Palestinian protesters are gathering outside the library, and that building has been the focal point of heated protests and police confrontations. Protesters occupied the building for roughly 3 days this week until officers cleared them out to find extensive damage inside. Right now, it appears that all is still peaceful. Barricades are still up. We're seeing some protesters, looks like there, one speaker leading the crowd of folks who are making this demonstration happen despite the weather. We are going to continue to monitor this situation. We're going to have another update for you later on tonight. And this morning, the PSU campus was back to normal for the Saturday farmers market. It went off without a hitch. Our crew stopped by and did not see any demonstrations or police activity. And K2 is on your side, following all the angles of these protests and the Israel-Hamas conflict. We'll have more from the scene in downtown Portland in a special edition of K2 News coming up tonight after the game around 8 o'clock. In the meantime, for the latest breaking news and information, head over to our website, k2.com. Now we want to turn to a deadly shooting in the Wilks neighborhood where one man was killed. This happened around 5 o'clock this morning at Northeast Beach Street. Portland police say when they arrived, they found one man lying in the street. He was pronounced dead at the scene. PPB says their homicide unit is now investigating. And Vancouver police say they are seeing a general increase in reports of children being exposed to drugs. On Thursday alone, VPD responded to 2 cases like this, one involving a 3-month-old toddler who was allegedly exposed to methamphetamine. Officers arrested the child's mother on multiple charges there and took the child into protective custody. The other case involved a 2-month-old infant who was allegedly exposed to cocaine and marijuana. No arrest has been made in that case yet. Vancouver police say they're still investigating both incidents. And it's relatively common knowledge now that anyone who is exposed to fentanyl or an opioid should receive Narcan to avoid a fatal OD. But what happens with non-opioid drugs like meth or cocaine? Well, K2 is on your side tonight, learning how to keep your family safe. We spoke to officials about what people should do when children are exposed to dangerous drugs like that. Here's Portland Fire and Rescue's Jason Stein.
As a parent, you suspect your child's been exposed to it. Really, the first thing you want to do is call 911 and get the emergency system activated. Then second step you can take is to call poison control, that number 800-222-1222. We want to get that response system going as fast as we can. The paramedics, first responders will show up. We'll monitor your child's heart rate and rhythm. We'll take some vitals, make sure their airway's protected, basically get them to emergency room to see a doctor.
And Stein says, unfortunately, unlike opioid overdoses, there is no reversal agent for drugs like meth. But he does say that on the positive side, if a parent accidentally gives their child Narcan, it will not hurt the child. He also says many drugs on the street these days are cut with fentanyl. That means Narcan may still help. And in case you missed the news, this news yesterday, Multnomah County has already seized more than 27 pounds of fentanyl powder and nearly 27,000 fentanyl pills since the start of this year. That's on pace to surpass last year's record high. In 2023, the Sheriff's Office reported 92 pounds of fentanyl taken off the streets. In 2022, it was 4 pounds. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl to cause a deadly overdose. That's about the weight of a few grains of salt. A driver has been arrested and a pedestrian is in the hospital with serious injuries after a crash in northeast Portland this morning. It happened just after 2 a.m. PPB responded to a call of a crash at Northeast Halsey and Northeast 92nd Avenue. Officers and paramedics there found an adult male seriously hurt. The driver, 23-year-old Nicole Land, remained at the scene and was arrested after officers determined that she was impaired. That's all according to police. She is facing multiple charges, including DUI. News now from the governor's office in Salem. Tomorrow will be recognized as Missing or Murdered Indigenous Persons Awareness Day. Governor Tina Kotek issued the proclamation today, saying in a statement, quote, "For far too long, the unsolved deaths, and disappearances of Indigenous persons, especially women, have not seen justice. On Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Awareness Day, we recommit ourselves to addressing the root causes and systemic obstacles contributing to this crisis." Now some important information for you, for voters rather, in East Multnomah County, especially in Gresham. The elections office says almost 10,000 people will get replacement ballots for the upcoming primary. The original ballots left off a measure about funding for the zoo. This applies to 3 precincts where people are inside Metro's boundaries. They got ballots as if they're outside the boundary. The measure is asking people to authorize millions of dollars in bonds for the Oregon Zoo. County election organizers say they put new ballots in the mail on Thursday and Friday. Ballots are still due by 8 p.m. on election night, May 21st. Now we want to turn to a KATU traffic alert. US 26 is closed between Mount Hood and Warm Springs due to a crash. It happened around 3 o'clock this afternoon, just 2 hours ago. A detour is now in place. Eastbound traffic should use Oregon 216 or US 197 to 97. Westbound traffic should do the opposite, take 97 to 216. ODOT has a separate detour for truck traffic. ODOT says folks should expect an extended closure. Now I want to switch gears to Storm Tracker 2 weather. Lots of rain today, but will that be hanging around? We have meteorologist Allison Gutleber with the answer. Allison.
For a few days, I would say. It's been icky outside,
yeah,
but we have more sunshine and warmer conditions as we look towards the end of the 7-day forecast. But I want to show you outside right now. Here's a look at the Visit Hood River camera. There is a lot of icky conditions. We have some rainy conditions, also some cloudy skies. Temperatures are in the 40s, around 46. A look in Dayton, rainy still in the upper 40s, 49. We still have a lot of those cloudy skies out there over there. I want to talk about rainfall totals because here in Portland we got to around ½ of an inch and we're still seeing more of that continue, and we're going to see more rain this weekend, so we're going to see those totals get up there. Also, the winter weather advisory is for the Cascades. That's going to go for the next day or so, and then we have warm and dry conditions soon. That means more sunshine and back to the 80s by the end of the forecast. I want to talk about the rain outside. We've had some heavier downpours out there. Most of it's more moderate rainfall, but heavy rainfall still over towards the Hood River area. Hood River is also going to have to deal with some of those windy conditions as we go into the day tomorrow. So wind advisory is everywhere for this brown area. It expires at 11 p.m. on Sunday evening. And then the other one that is in purple is the winter weather advisory. That goes until tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. So a little bit earlier is when it expires, but we could see some snow as high as 4,000 feet. So 4,000 feet and above, you're going to see some snowfall. Let's time out those showers because here's a look into early tomorrow morning. You're seeing the showers, snow in the Cascades. The rest of us are dealing with rain showers. The rain continues as we go into Sunday throughout the morning and the afternoon. And then as we head into Monday, we start to see it's starting to dry out, but another round of rain moves onshore, and we could see this is around 4:30. We have our news 4:30 at Monday a.m. So you could see that we're going to talk about that during that show. Getting into Monday afternoon, 12 hours later, you're still seeing some of those showers in the Cascades and even some of the rain showers here in Portland and along the coast. I want to talk about temperatures now because we are still staying below average. We're in the 50s for tomorrow. We're below average on Wednesday, but at least we're getting a little bit warmer, 64 degrees. As we get into Friday, 82 degrees. You can really see that we're going to get more warm condition. Upper level ridge is going to move in, and we're going to have that pattern shift for the second half of the week. A look at the temperatures outside right now, 52 in Portland, 51 in Vancouver, much cooler in Salem and even over in the Dalles and Dayton, which we looked at earlier. Temperature is pretty mild over in Pendleton, 67 degrees, 61 in LeGrand, 59 in Baker City. Tonight our temperatures are falling down to the mid 40s. Tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo, it's going to be a rainy one, 55 for your high, 57 on Monday. Tuesday, we still have showers out there around 59 degrees. Finally in the 60s as we get into the middle of the week, and you could just see it gets much better from there. 70s by Thursday, Friday and Saturday looking to be in the 80s.
Here in 80 degrees.
Yes,
it's
crazy.
Hard to believe. Thanks so much, Allison. And moving on now, happening in less than an hour, an evening for autism. This will be the 10th year for the event. Because it is May the 4th, this year's theme is Star Wars. The event is organized by Autism Research and Resources of Oregon, also known as ARROW. There will be Star Wars cosplay, casino games, face painting, an auction, raffles, a dinner, and much, much more. And all the money raised will go to the ARROW Holiday Fund.
The Holiday Fund helps, again, low-income families during the Christmas holiday season. Last year, we raised money to help around 700 families during the holiday season. Again, it's for the low-income families that have children on the autism spectrum. So it just helps them to have a good holiday that they otherwise might not have.
And the event gets started at 6 p.m. at the Embassy Suites in Tigard. Turning now to a special segment, we have some major mammal news for you. First, of course, the Kentucky Derby was this afternoon. It was the 150th year of the historic race. Mystic Dan won by the flare of his nostrils in the three-horse finish, and the horse and jockey, Brian Hernandez Jr., started the race at 18-1 odds to win the race at Churchill Downs. Exciting stuff there. Now, another update for you that we have all been waiting for. After 6 days of roaming the woods, the missing zebra that escaped off of a trailer on I-90 has been captured. That's all according to the Regional Animal Services in Washington. The mare was safely rescued thanks to animal control officers and citizens who joined in on that search. And now, a second event in honor of May the 4th. Oregon State University celebrated its popular Pet Day with a Star Wars-themed costume event. Pet Day shows visitors around the veterinary teaching hospital on campus while providing free dog washes and nail trims. And that's all the news we have for you on this digital edition of KATU News. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to have another edition of KATU coming up around 8 o'clock after the game. We'll see you then.